What are your thoughts when a woman refuses to be intimate before becoming exclusive? To me that's a rather positive sign, as long as that has been her historical trend. I don't understand why people would lose their s over being exclusive. It is not a big commitment to say, hey, as long as we're having sex, we won't have sex or go out on dates with other people. Why waste each other's time if we're not going to focus on each other? I don't understand why people would lose their s over being exclusive. People want to have their cake and eat it too. They want the benefits of a relationship without the responsibilities. When called out on it, they blame the other person. Worst case scenario, commit. Realize you're incompatible. Break up. While that sounds like logical advice, how many people would take that as sufficient reason for breaking up with no hard feelings / sex isn't everything monologue afterwards? 2 dates isn't too soon to be exclusive. You don't have to date multiple people. Maybe I'm old, but I never did that. If I was interested in someone, that's where my focus was. And if we were having sex, it's because I was into her. Meaningless. Casual sex was boring. There was no connection. So no, I wouldn't be bothered in the slightest if a woman refused sex until exclusive. Dating multiple people is way too complicated for me. I have no idea how they manage it. Exactly, just sounds unnecessary and depressing. Makes sense to me. I'd think she has her s together. Exactly, like this would be nothing but green flags to me. Super green flags on profile. No hookups. No hookups often mean I have hooked up plenty of times in the past, but need to make it a point I don't do it anymore. And oftentimes they break those rules for guys they really like. Anyone saying this is a sign of her past behavior really doesn't understand women at all. Good. I don't want to be intimate with someone who isn't exclusively dating me. Also, how many times have we seen he/she slept with other people while we were dating, but before we were exclusive? IDK, how to get over it. Just date one person at a time and keep it in your pants till you're exclusive. It's not hard, FFS. For real, people make sex their entire lives. Like, it's not hard to just date one person and have a little patience, like geez. Why is it too soon to commit? For me it's the same as for her. I would prefer to be exclusive as well before becoming intimate. Maybe I'm old fashioned, but unless said otherwise is going out to me is automatically exclusive. Maybe I'm even older fashioned, but commitment used to pretty strongly imply getting engaged. Funny that now it apparently only means exclusive dating / going out. That's fairly common where I grew up. Wouldn't be alarmed by it. Yep, my region is like that too. Maybe the op need to share their region. It's insane to me that exclusivity is too much commitment for you, but sex isn't. Bro, for real, like modern dating is so backwards. Like, it's too much to ask to be exclusive, but not a huge ask for me to be vulnerable with my body and potentially get pregnant. I think it's more about why are you waiting longer to become exclusive if you're already getting hot and heavy on dates? Is it because you want to sleep around still? Because you want to have sex with this person, but don't know if you want to be in a relationship with them? You barely know someone after 2 dates. You can be attracted to someone after 2 seconds. Maybe I'm old, but if your reasons for not wanting to commit are you barely know them, then why are you having sex with them, considering you are trusting that person with your literal health? And who knows if they could pass you and stay? Or hell, what happens if you get pregnant? You have no idea what type of person they are, or co-parent they would be, or even if your values aligned. Raising a child with someone seems way too late to learn about that stuff on the fly. You can be attracted to someone after 2 seconds. True, but that doesn't mean you need to have sex with them just because you are attracted to them. I 100% agree with this. Like, I've never understood not knowing if you want to be in a committed relationship, but at the same time you want to have sex. That makes no sense. You're trusting that person with your body very intimately and could potentially get them pregnant or catch something, but you can't give commitment. She is just setting that boundary. I would respect that. It also shows you that she values herself and is serious. Green flag here. Exactly, I don't see the issue, especially if the point is dating to settle down. Not a man, but this issue was my main gripe about dating. As someone who does not do casual sex and only gets intimate after establishing emotional intimacy in a committed relationship, it's serious chaps my how so many men pull the whole high value / low body count stance but then get mad when you won't put out by date 3. Came exactly to find this comment, wondering why women won't have sex before becoming exclusive, but also judging those who have high body count seems hypocritical to me. Back when I was dating, happily married now, the number of times I was told off for wasting his time because I wasn't ready for sex after a few dates was insane. Even when I was upfront from the first conversation, I'd get huffy dudes compared to my spouse who was more than happy to focus on getting to know each other and fall in love before getting naked. I wouldn't have a problem with not having sex with someone else, but I wouldn't want to rush into a more serious relationship just to be able to have sex. You're not wrong, but there is a lot of space between still banging whomever I want and serious relationship. You can be exclusive, aka focusing on that one partner for the time being without already aiming for the big milestones. It just means not getting your D wet elsewhere for a while, and isn't equivalent to moving in together or making bigger life decisions with the other person in mind. There really doesn't have to be any rushing into anything. Of course, I guess it depends on what the other person means with having a committed relationship. I would be feeling the same way as her. Our society is too casual with sex. Yep, STI rates are rising, and people don't get tested or use protection nearly as frequently as they should. Gotta protect ourselves first. Crazy thing is that the rates are highest with boomers. The overall STI rates are still highest for those under 25, but the rate of rise in older adults is definitely increasing quickly. Oh, you're probably right. I was going off of stale anecdotal evidence from a nurse friend of mine. If your only aim is sex, she literally just said she's not interested in sex unless it's a monogamous, exclusive relationship. If that's not what you want, then you already know the answer. There's nothing wrong with her wanting only people that are going to take her seriously, and this is probably one of the best ways to do it. Guess it depends on what is considered established relationship. Not dating or sleeping with anyone else? Sure, that is fair. Some weirdly long dating experience where you are exclusive for months, but she still won't sleep with you? And now we are getting in the unreasonable territory. Time is short. If someone is worth it, everyone can generally figure it out pretty quickly. Not having sex is fine before we become exclusive, but it really depends on what exclusive looks like and what it means. I would generally say someone willing to not sleep with a partner before establishing the relationship is worth it is a good sign. No problem. She doesn't want you to propose marriage. She just wants you to not F someone else. It's not a big ask. Green flags all around. A woman who can commit becomes more attractive in my eyes. So yes, I'll absolutely wait. You can date multiple people IMO, but once you get to the point of sexual intimacy, I think you should be exclusive. The lady is right in this hypothetical situation, and I think that's good judgment. IMO, the world needs more women and men who think like that. Sex generates bonding hormones. Be sure that person is someone worth bonding with before you self-medicate toward them. As in having sex, or as in I can't even hold her. Cause physical affection is a must-have if you want to be my girlfriend. But I completely understand being exclusive, but not quite ready for sex. Having sex. There was definitely like a 30-minute groping session happening. Oh well, then it would be a glowing green flag. It shows that she only has sex within exclusive relationships and is likely to be more trustworthy. It would increase my respect for her. Say I'd be more attracted to her and respect her even more, shows we have the same views on sex and relationships. Exactly. I respect a woman who says no hookups because she values herself. Yeah, casual sex and hookups are unattractive to me, not shaming people who like it, but it's just not my thing and would be a major turn off if someone wanted sex on the first date. I went out a girl like this. She had 2 kids and was wanting to settle down. It was going great, but she had to move to take care of her mother upstate. Mad respect. My kind of woman. I think casual sex is gross, and that sex is an expression of love. I want to be with someone who views it the same way. Why would a woman want to sleep with a man who is still sleeping with other women? We know the implications of sleeping with men can make sure there's condoms, birth control etc. What we don't know is if the same care is being taken with other partners, or are we risking catching STD/STIs, and honestly there's a certain dyke that comes with knowing it could have been in another woman the night before. And a dipping and diving in multiple pools whilst trying to deep dive our own loses value. It's the same if the genders are switched. Why would you want a woman who will spread her legs for multiple dates? What's wrong with exclusive dating, knowing your date feels you're special enough to want to take it that far? So glad I'm no longer in the dating pool. The rules seem to adapt yearly. If I find myself single at any point, I'm finding a sex shop with a subscription to monthly toys instead. Every time I have ever been cheated on, I have gotten BV infections from hell that wouldn't go away without several rounds of antibiotics. People's bodies aren't meant to be screwing dozens of people at a time. Realistically, I'm not going to date multiple women at the same time. It's so hard to meet just one woman with whom there's mutual interest. Even if I wanted to, it is just so unlikely to happen, so being exclusive is not even a commitment at all in my experience. So I have a new question for you. What would you think if I agreed to be exclusive right then and there? It wouldn't be dishonest, but it might not be an established relationship either. If being exclusive early isn't enough, what then becomes the benchmark for an established relationship? I think agreeing to be exclusive right then and there with an expectation that it means we're having sex that night would feel like a trap. If I were in this situation, it would feel like they were agreeing to be exclusive so that we could have sex. The whole talk would probably kill the mood anyway. I wouldn't expect to have sex that same day. But my question still stands. What's the benchmark for an established relationship? If I'm willing to commit to being exclusive very early on, do I just have to pretend to not know if I want to be exclusive for a few weeks? I'm really not going to date anyone else either way. Mid-30s. Really, looking for someone to settle down, would not be multitasking, and would not be that keen to have sex as soon as possible. But what is important in the end is that you are attracted to him and keen to have sex. In my experience, guys like to have sex soon as possible to see whether or not they like the woman. That usually hits in post-nut clarity by asking you to wait. She wants you to genuinely like her for who she is, not the access to sex that she would provide. She has no ulterior motive by asking for sexual exclusivity. It also doesn't matter if that's a historical trend. People are allowed to switch up their dating habits in order to obtain something they are looking for. If a man was used for money in the past, I'm not going to demand he take me on shopping sprees to prove how much he likes me. It shows that he has decided to have more respect for himself and knows how to learn from his mistakes. That's an excellent point. I just had a back and forth with some moron that devolved into him admitting if a woman doesn't fit perfectly into the box he's created, then she is disposable. Then saying that's what modern dating is. Lol. This is normal. I don't want to have sex outside of an exclusive relationship either. So it's a straight win for me.